The Good Place is a Netflix show that can be seen as an allegory for the American dream and its flaws, particularly through themes of systemic inequality and character disillusionment. The show follows 4 characters, Chidi, Eleanor, Tahani, and Jason, who have all died and entered the Good Place. Spoiler alert, they later discover they're actually being tortured in the fake Good Place designed by Michael, and as you go further along the show, they learn that no one's gotten into Good Place for over 5,000 years because it's too hard to get in. This mirrors the American dream, which is a belief system coined by James Truslow Adams, which claims that anyone can succeed in the US if they just work hard and follow the rules. But as we look closer at how the country actually operates, it becomes clear that systemic barriers make that dream far harder. In the Good Place, for someone to be admitted, they must reach a certain threshold of points, which is around 1 million. This point system was created by the council, and the system was in place for thousands of years. Forwarding to the future, the last 5,000 years, no one was able to enter the Good Place, and this was due to complexity. The world had become much more interlocked and more complex than it was back then. Back in the day, if you did your due diligence, you took care of your family and did the bare minimum, you would be able to enter the Good Place. But nowadays, if you were, let's say, to buy a bouquet of flowers for your mother, which is a kind gesture, you would get points for that. But your points would immediately be redacted due to you unknowingly taking part in someone's exploitation. So this reflects the flaws of the American dream, because in previous generations, financial stability was more attainable. One household could live off of one stable income and be able to take vacations, buy a home, go to college, and more. Now in today's world, it's pretty rare for somebody to be living in one house without them living from paycheck to paycheck. And with staggered wages, high cost of living, and discrimination, the obstacles make it difficult for somebody in the US to make it. Since the council was made up of very old people, they were really reluctant to make change in the first place. Luckily, they came around and changed the way the point system worked, but I can't say the same for our realistic lives. The people that are leading the country are all old, just like in the Good Place. And though they know the system is flawed and the problems that we have in the current times are unprecedented, because of the hierarchy and money and other factors, they won't make any changes. The council in the Good Place is basically our government, and there was a point where the council, when they were confronted with these issues, they were just as slow moving and basically just wagging their tails with one another. On the bright side though, the council members were able to change their minds. So to me, that shows that I feel like in the future that will also happen for us, but we do have to do our due diligence to make that happen. So when the characters first arrive in the Good Place, they're given everything they want. They have a perfect home, a soulmate, and just an ideal life overall. But after living in the Good Place for a while, they start to notice some cracks in the glass, like they dislike one another over stupid stuff, or parties are getting ruined, just a lot of minor inconveniences which start to build up on each other until one of the characters realizes that this is not the Good Place, which was Eleanor most of the time. Michael had to reboot the Good Place over 800 times because every time he would make it, Eleanor or one of the characters would find out that they're not in the real Good Place. When I was watching the episode, it reminded me of a conversation I had with my mom, and I asked her what she thought America was going to be like before my family immigrated here, and she told me that she imagined gold on the streets, money in the trees, you could just go outside and see $1 million right next to you. She didn't realize that she would have to work, her and my father had to work a lot and become well educated to become the people that they are today. And many working class Americans and immigrants, they tend to have the same expectations when coming to this country or being told through school or whatever about this dream and how if you just follow the rules, you're able to live comfortably. A good character example of this is Doug Forsett. When he found out about the Good Place, he immediately decided that he will abide by every law under the sun to get into the Good Place. When Michael counted up his points, he was only halfway there. And mind you, Doug was already 60 or in his early 70s. So this is a sad reality of all the characters in the present day. Characters like Doug, who are perfect, are still not able to enter the good place due to the point system. So if the brightest and the smartest people of our collective aren't even able to achieve the goals that the system was in place for, then it definitely needs to be fixed. To end on a good note, I do believe that the best thing to do for yourself is to connect with the people in your community, as well as take small steps every day to live a dream that you want. Though we may get beaten down, I think looking on the bright side and controlling what you can control is a good outlook to take. I do believe that the best thing to do for yourself is to connect with the people in your community, as well as take small steps every day to live a dream you want. I know we might get beaten down because of policies and politics that are going our way, but I feel like having radical optimism is what makes the world a better place. And when I watched The Good Place, I really enjoyed the show, and there's a lot of commentary within the show. I just felt like the show mirrored the American dream, and that's why I want to talk about it. If you haven't watched The Good Place, I highly advise you to watch the show. I really enjoyed it, and it's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. Thank you for watching.